Welcome to Booze and Glooze, a justifiable excuse for two friends to spend time together, cross crafts off their to-do list, and, of course, drink. With glue guns and wine glasses at the ready, join Jessye Shepherd and Tabitha Davis as they attempt to simultaneously chat, craft, chug and charm. Will they consume alcohol? Definitely. Will they actually accomplish anything? Debatably. Will they bitch and complain? Inevitably. Will it be a bloody good time? Absolutely. And if things don't turn out just as planned, well, that's okay too. Because booze!
Hey, it's Tab.
And I'm Jessye.
And we're gonna make some wood circles.
On Booze and Glooze. Get excited.
Real excited. I'm excited about drinking a lot of wine tonight. This is noisy.
A little bit, but
A little bit.
y'all are going to have to put up with our noisy tablecloth.
We're gonna call it natural Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's naturally occurring Foley. We're having some Menage a Trois red blend, the California.
Super classy.
It's just simple go-to.
Right.
Also, it was the only red wine I had tonight.
We got to purchase some more.
Yes.
We got to get a part of one of those wine clubs or something.
Do something fancy.
That really would probably be a great idea because we're going to drink 4 bottles of wine. We might as well do a wine club that gives you 4 bottles a month.
That's true. You know what we should do is get a wine club to sponsor us.
If any of you guys run a wine club, hit us up.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to consume a lot of wine tonight because I had a crummy day at work. And we also got chocolate.
That's true. I'm trying to eat better and lose some poundage. So I don't know how hard I'm going to go, but we'll see.
I gave up on losing pounds. Maybe someday I will again.
I gotta fit into my clothes again. If I was fitting into my clothes, I'd probably not worry about it. But the fact that I can't wear a whole lot of stuff is
No, I have outrageous amounts of clothing that don't fit me in my closet. And every time I see them, I feel guilty about living in a first world country. I'm like, look at me with all these clothes that I just can't even fit in because I eat too much cheese. And then there's somebody out there starving and they don't even have a t-shirt to wear.
The poor children in Africa.
I know. I mean,
I don't know why is it always Africa?
It's a large continent, and then also our childhoods were probably dictated by those Sally Struthers.
That's true.
Infomercial things.
Yes.
So when you think of a poor child, that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's like,
right.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. I always kind of wonder that. Why is it African? There's lots of poor children everywhere.
All over the place.
Even in America.
Even in this city. Yes, I agree. Yeah, so our project for the night, we'll explain it at least. So
we're going to try not to talk about it the entire podcast.
Well, definitely not talk about it the entire podcast. But what we have are slices of a round of wood. So they're about 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick.
Yeah.
And on Pinterest, of course, we got this fancy idea.
Paint some chalk paint on it, and you can write whatever the heck you want on it at any time.
Yeah. It's a little natural wood chalkboard.
Right. I know that I'm not going to be great about redoing the chalk writing all the time, so I brought some paint pens. I think I'm just going to make a permanent chalkboard.
That's insane.
I know. Well, I did, so I know...
me opening the paint. It was really vicious.
I know this from experience, so and that was not Tabitha farting or Jessye.
Pouring the paint.
It's paint. Just to clarify.
Here, I'll just gush it all out.
We're going to do it now. Oh, yeah.
We might need more later. I don't know. That's fine for now.
And so I got Blake this like little frame. So cheesy, guys. Are you ready for this? It's a frame and it has like a little line and it says on it like I love you because ... and then I have it so I can like, well, can change it too, but he never has. But so I could like change why it is I love him that day. It's maybe been changed twice and we've had it like 2 years. So
I one time made Adam a little frame and it just has like rustic looking like old timey paper in the back. And then it's kind of scuffed up and it has like a 2 frame thing. So like you can write a message and you can write a message back.
Oh.
And I think we wrote messages on it like twice. And then I left for like a night and I wrote a message and then Jackson wrote on the bottom of it and it was so cute. I didn't want to change it. So it's been like that for probably 3 years.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's just you do the dry erase on the glass.
Right. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. And everybody always, because it's like in my living room and everybody always comments on it. You know, we make it seem like we changed all the time. People are like, this is so cute. And I'm like, oh, thank you. We love
so
each other.
adorable.
We always think of so many reasons why. And I mean, it's not that I can't think of the reasons. I
It's just not like
don't ever
go do it.
go to the thing.
So what does it currently say? I love you for cleaning out the litter box.
No, he doesn't do that.
Oh.
That's one thing I can't say I love him for. I don't think he has once. Which is fine. It's my cat technically, but you know, when does it become ours? I told him, actually, when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to change the cat box.
Oh, you're definitely not.
So I told him
Toxoplasmosis.
Right. I told him, can't wait till I'm pregnant. You get to change the cat box.
The first time I was pregnant, I completely was a spaz. And so I didn't dye my hair. And I refused to pump gas. I made my husband go fill up the car. Like everything. Because there's a sign right there that says like, known to cause birth defects.
Right.
And I was just neurotic.
Yeah.
And then by the time, like, I was pregnant with Remy, Jackson's in the backseat screaming. I'm trying to get down the hill. It's taken 3 hours to get out of the house. I'm like, I still have to get gas. So I just did it.
Yeah.
He survived. He's an okay kid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how totally neurotic I'll be. I feel like I'm not going to be, but probably when it comes down to it, I will be because we're so similar. So
yeah.
If you were, I'm going to be too. But let me be neurotic about that because Blake can clean the cat box
That is
while
something
I'm
you
carrying our
should
child.
be neurotic about. You do not want to mess with that.
No.
Did you know that it can cause scars in your retina and leave you with blind spots?
Like just when you're pregnant?
No.
All the time?
That's what can happen if you get that bacteria in your system.
That's disgusting.
So scary. But you don't want to give that to your unborn child who didn't even have a choice if there was a cat.
Never. So that's fine. Blake can do it. Yeah.
The good thing was when I had the kids, I wasn't so neurotic. Like once they were there,
That's good. I
was just like, because I had so many babies in my family, I was like, oh, yeah, you just like feed this thing and change it and hold it when it cries. It's fine. Like, I wasn't like, oh,
like
no,
some moms.
He's crying. He is going to be scarred for life. Like,
yeah.
I was totally over it by then.
Right. Well, anyway. So my frame currently says, I love you because you're, I think it's something about how he's a hard worker. He was, the time when I wrote it, he was having a hard time at work. And so.
It was encouraging.
It's encouraging.
Maybe it encourages him every day and that's why he doesn't want to change it.
Maybe. I don't know how willing, not willing, but I don't know. He's not so cheesy like me, you know?
Right. But yeah, guys tend to not be. So.
Which is fine.
So we got our little rounds of wood. We lightly sanded them just to kind of get off most of the like dirt and sawdust and stuff. And then we just put a quick sealing coat of just like a satin sealer. Yeah, what the right word is. We left it in the garage. We sprayed it outside so as not to get super high, but then we immediately brought them in so that they could dry.
So if we start saying crazy stuff, you know why.
Like, and now we're in an enclosed room with fumes. I mean, I can smell them for sure.
This is going to be booze and glues and
huffing glue. Booze and huffing glooze.
That's perfect. I think that's going to be the title of
Booze
this
and
podcast.
Glooze and fumes. Yeah. So our next goal will be to put the chalkboard paint on. This is going to be a real easy one for tonight.
I love it.
I'm a little not sure about, like, do I just want it in a circle?
Or are you going to do something crazy?
I started thinking about doing something crazy.
Like what?
Some kind of design.
Tab is getting crazy, guys.
I don't know. Does that take away, like, if I did, like, you know, like, I don't know what those are called. Like the little, like a floopy design. Like,
Floopy.
You know, where it has like it's like a fancy rectangle with rounded edges and little doop-de-doos on it. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be great.
I don't know.
You want to know what? You could do it, and if you don't like it, you could still just make a circle at the end. You know what I mean?
True.
Like fill in the edges.
I have some big chipboard pieces, like cutouts of like shapes, and I was thinking I could use one to like trace, and then
Love it.
we might be even able. Are you real concerned about it being a perfect circle?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say we might be able to use the circle and do that.
Nope.
Let me go see if I have one of those.
I'm totally going to wing
Do you know
it.
the shape I'm talking about?
I do not. I'm excited to see it.
Don't know how else to explain it.
Floopies.
Explain it.
I've never heard of floopies.
Floopy shape. Okay, I'm
While
gonna
you're
get my
gone,
floopy
I'm
shape.
going to eat some more chocolate.
Uh-huh. Where are the big chunks?
So Tab's getting crazy and finding some chipboard, and I think I'm just going to start.
Go for it.
Because, you know, time is short. Life is short. That's what I meant to say. Life is short.
Time is short, people. We have a set amount of time that we are willing to invest in this. Oh, I have a scallop.
Tab really is getting crazy.
But I do have some circles. If you just want to trace a circle so you have like an idea.
Nah.
Nah.
I'm winging it. Like I
Okay.
said in my text. That's been like my goal for this year is really just trying to
Try
just
to just be.
winging things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, in my office, I moved offices. Well, let's be real. My first office wasn't really an office. It was like a hallway that I had gotten placed into at some point,
Oh, nice.
which was fine. It was better than being at the reception desk.
Right.
Because I don't have to talk to people, but it was
What?
still like a hallway. And so I moved into an office, which is really great. But it took me a really long time to figure out how I was going to hang up all my pictures. And I love, you know, like right now, well, you're so good at this, actually. But right now, the huge thing is like, what do they call those walls where everything is just kind of like randomly up there?
Oh, I just call it my wall.
Yeah, that, well, it is Tab's wall, and it looks fantastic.
I
Seriously?
just cluster.
Yeah. I don't know. There's like a name for them. They're all over Pinterest. That's how you just...
Oh, well, they're copying me because my wall's been like that for a long time.
That's how you hang your stuff up these days. You just put things willy-nilly wherever you feel like it, right? And I'm so bad at that because I'm so much...
You have to not measure anything.
Well, I did on mine. It's as random as Jesse's random can possibly get. But... you know, it looks good. It's not done yet. I still have to buy some picture frames. But, you know, I'm happy with it. And I'm excited that I went out of my comfort zone and I tried to do something random instead of, you know, put things like right as such. Maybe
like
I'll
it.
post a picture of my new wall when it's done
I would love to see that.
on our Insta.
I know, we need to post some more stuff on our Insta. Okay, so I can't find the thing that I'm looking for, but what I can do is just draw you a picture of what I'm talking about, and then you can tell me if you know the name of the thing that looks kind of like this. You have to realize I can't draw, and I'm using a paper towel. This is not working. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Floopies.
Yeah, it's got like the little floopy thing.
You know what? I know what you're talking about. Does it have a name? Probably. Do I know it? No.
Some kind of like, is it like a postage feel? I don't know. I really don't. I'm going to try to make this scalloped. This is going to be a disaster.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, it is.
If you put your mind to it, anything is possible.
It's going to be a mess. You know what I think I should really do is use the outer piece of this as a like stencil and just paint up to it.
Oh, now you're going to use that little circle-y thing?
You want a flower?
I do not.
I have a lot of chipboard. We should make some freaking ornaments or something with all this stuff.
Well, we're going to have to start our Christmas stuff earlier this year.
Oh, God, are we ever?
Now we're about to post Christmas, and it's going to be like St. Patrick's Day, and people are going to be like, what the hell are these girls doing?
No, they're just going to be like, oh, I missed out. I missed when they did these. Darn.
This is a great idea for next year.
Yeah, we're giving them time to prepare is what we're doing.
That's true.
So how do you like them apples? Oh my gosh, I had to look up recently what that means.
Oh, you found out the, origin story
Yeah,
of how do you like them apples?
etymology or whatever they call it.
What is it? Please share.
So, yeah, because I used the phrase and somebody was like, what? And
they'd never heard it?
They hadn't heard it. They're young.
Okay. They haven't had a lot of apples?
I don't know. I do this to her all the time. I'll say something and she'll be like, what? And I'm like, oh, it's a saying. And she's like, no. So I had to look it up. And then she's like, where does it come from? What does it mean? And I'm like, well, it's just saying how do you like what I said or what I did or whatever it is, but you're just saying them apples. So we Googled it and did a little research. And apparently apples were what they called certain little grenades or something.
Okay.
During I don't know if it was World War I or World War II. And so, I mean, shoot, I don't know. Maybe it was the Revolutionary War for all I know. And so, yeah, it was a saying of you'd throw them at people and then be like, how do you like them apples? Ha ha ha, I just blew your ass up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, and every time I think of it now, I'm every time I say it, because I just say it out of habit, and then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's really messed up.
You're like, I'm throwing bombs at you.
Right. Tiny bombs.
Blake lately, he got the game, all the gamers out there are gonna stop listening. I think it's called Battlefield.
Somebody's screaming at their... It's not Battlefield!
Yeah, well, so it's... And to be honest, I don't even know what war it is that's taking place, but it's one a while back, right?
I'm real bad about mushing all the wars together.
I'm real bad about history and just honestly, not that I don't care, okay? That's going to make me sound really ignorant.
Very interesting. What I don't find interesting are the actual dates and stuff. That part doesn't matter. It's the lesson behind what happened, you know?
Yeah. I feel you there. But I still just... Like I said, not caring is not the right words because...
It's like me in geography.
Sure.
Right?
It's there. It's in the world. It has to be there for life to exist. It's a thing. But do you need to know every detail? No.
And what do I say when geography comes up at trivia? Say I'm tapping out. Because I have no interest whatsoever. So I think this just made kind of a floppy edge. It's not really a scallop.
Maybe you could accentuate it with a little paintbrush.
That's true.
Oh, but anyway, so this video game, right?
Yeah.
It's this so you're in this war, right? You're fighting, and there's all these little battles or something that you need to win in these different places of the game.
You go complete battles for to get through your levels or something.
Yeah. Whatever. And there's 4 or 5 of them going on at one time, and it's A through E or A through D.
Is this one that's connected to other people?
Yes, it can be. I don't know. I don't think Blake really... yeah, he might. He has an Xbox, okay? So, but this lady, she's English, and she's always updating you on the status of the battles, and she's got a little English accent, right? Mm-hmm. And she's we're losing apples or something, because she can't just say A, you need to clarify A as in apple. So, oh my gosh. And she says it every 2 minutes.
Oh, she's using the phonetic alphabet where they spell everything out
oh my gosh.
Adam, boy, Charlie, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's apples, and then, I don't even remember what B is.
And then you're shut up, lady!
Yeah, and so it's, I'm sure it's one thing for Blake when he's playing, he's in it, and needs to know what's happening. But for me, when all I just hear is we're losing apples, and we're, I'm just shut up!
I don't care.
So it's not my most favoritist game.
Just because of that.
Just because of that.
Well, I understand. Repetitive sound is like my most large pet peeve that I have. It is the thing that drives me insane.
Yeah.
And especially like DVD menus.
Oh my gosh.
I will lose my junk. I will be like, somebody turn that off.
Why couldn't they have a whole song on a DVD menu? I don't understand why they need to limit it to 10 seconds or something.
Yeah. No, I know. It's crazy. And yeah, and I will go from like, this is irritating me to like, I have completely melted down so fast. I'm like, somebody turn that thing off before I freak out.
Yeah, it's...
And then my boys are like, you're already freaking out.
Too late.
It's terrible. But that's like the most annoying thing is just that like repetitive over and over and over.
No, yeah, it's the worst. DVD menus are the worst. Good thing DVDs are like almost a thing of the past, right?
Yeah, honestly.
Blake and I were talking about this the other day. We're going to be explaining to people someday that you used to like go to a store to like rent a DVD.
Oh,
you know?
I already
like,
had to have that conversation and explain
oh.
to my kids. Like, they're like, what's a Blockbuster?
I had a friend who's a teacher post the other day that she told her students that she was gonna, like, if they finished reading the James and the Giant Peach book, she'd let them watch the movie, right? Or one of the kids was like, how? We don't have Netflix in our classroom. And she was like, well, I think we have it on DVD at the school, you know? And he's like, oh, is that how people used to watch movies in the old days? And I'm like, what? Like, kids are so past DVDs now? How is that possible? They're still around, I thought.
Well, I mean, we still have them. And I mean, my kids, like, increasingly, it'll be like, we're going to watch a movie, and it'll be like, well, do we want to go find the DVD, or is it on Netflix, or Hulu, or something, Prime, or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's, like, easily accessible.
That is true.
But, and I mean, it's nice because you don't have the worry of it being scratched, or so many of their movies.
That's true.
Favorites. Yeah, when they were little, like, they would watch Jurassic Park over and over and over again. And it's like, now you can't even watch it because it's all scratched up.
Yeah, see, I've never really been one to, like, collect DVDs. Like, I have a little box, and they're, like, either, like, my favorite of all time, or it's, like, somebody got it for me, and I, like, got it some way random, and it's just there, and I've never touched it. I've never been, like, a DVD collector.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not real big on buying tons of them, but, I mean, especially... Well, when I used to not have any kind of cable or anything when the kids
yeah.
So I had a lot of, like, the stuff they would watch on DVDs because that was their only, like, access to it.
Right, that's smart.
Kind of before Netflix really got good at streaming.
Right.
So...
Well, remember Netflix just started out, you, like, had to list your queue. You had your...
They would send them to you. And
right.
I did that with it. And then it was like, well, then you could start streaming, but it was like... You know, the quality wasn't as good, and...
Right, you have to have, like...
constantly...
bitchin' internet for it to work really well.
Which, in the mountains...
You don't?
Internet is not an option.
Oh, no.
You can't even buy it. I do remember having to do that. And the boys are still, like, they'll get DVDs out and watch them. They aren't completely into the black hole of, like, what? But they're getting pretty high tech. I mean, they've got their little tablets. Yesterday, Amber and I went to Joann's, and Jackson called me on Skype from his tablet.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm like, oh, I'm getting a call from my son. This is creepy. How did he get this old?
That is funny.
And then Remy asked Adam and I not that long ago if there was color TV when we grew up.
Oh, no.
In the 90s.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny.
I was like, you did not just say that.
That is so funny.
He's like, were TVs in color or black and white when you grew up in the 90s, Mom? I was just like, oh my God, don't.
That is so great.
Granted, this is also the kid that when my dad turned 50 and we had a joint kind of family and friend birthday party because I turned 30 and he turned 50 the same week.
Oh.
And, Remy crawls up on his lap. We were at the grad.
Oh, R.I.P. Grad.
Remember when we were at the grad and the Giants won the World Series?
Yeah.
And Remy crawls up on my dad's lap and says, Grandpa, now that you're 50, are you going to be ready to die soon?
Oh my gosh. No, he did not.
Yeah. And I have, no idea where it came from. It's not like we were talking about that. I think it just in his brain, he was just like, oh, you're, really
50
old.
is old.
Because he had to have been maybe, let's see, I think I had him when I was 25. So he was 5.
Aww.
He was just 50. That's ancient. He's got to be getting ready to die.
And Grandpa Dan gotta get ready to die. That's so sad.
I know, it was so funny though. And I mean, he was just looking at me what just happened?
Did you try to get him to say this?
Did you put him up to this? I was like, no, absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. And the problem with those situations too is obviously everybody's gonna laugh their butts off, right? And then they're gonna...
The kid's oh, I'm being funny.
Yeah, I'm freaking hilarious. I'm gonna say this to every old person.
Are you ready to die? I did one time when we were kids. Do you remember, from Home Alone 2, the Talk Boy?
No.
The little thing that he, records his voice on. He can, speed it up and slow it down and play it back and all this stuff.
No.
Okay, well, obviously you're not real into Home Alone 2.
I'm not.
But...
I will admit that right now. I don't even know if I've seen it.
Oh, that's shocking.
Gotta give me some more Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
He's so weird now.
That's what Michael Jackson said.
Ooh. Ooh.
Too soon?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so my brother had one of those little Talk Boys. And, he would drive everyone insane with it. But I just remember he had, gotten it at Christmas. And we were doing, Christmas Eve stuff. And I had it. And I crawled up on my great aunt, my grandma's sister's lap. And I was like, Aunt Karen, what color did your hair used to be? And she just looked at me in horror.
Aww.
And I didn't even get why it was offensive or anything, because
you're
her hair's gray.
I'm just
What color
curious.
it used to be. I don't remember you being anything but gray, right?
Right.
And everyone thought it was hilarious, and and she's just all embarrassed, and I was totally oblivious.
Right.
So.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I totally get where Remy was coming from.
You've been interested in hair color since you were young.
That's true. I always loved doing hair. I used to do my Barbie's hair. Unfortunately, it didn't grow back.
Once you cut Barbie's hair, it does not come back again.
That's a hard lesson to learn as a little girl.
I bet.
Everybody else's hair grows back. Then you're like, wait, what?
I also was not much of a Barbie person.
I never, role played with Barbie. I would just, get her dressed and fix her up and set up her house and set up her... God, I had every Barbie thing. I had a Barbie boat and a Barbie quad and a Barbie...
Oh, my.
Whatever. So, I would get everything all set up and, make a little, neighborhood and do all the stuff. And I would hang all of her clothes in her little Barbie closet on the mini, mini hangers.
Aww.
And then I would be like, okay.
Dunzo.
And, I organized and set everything up. That was playing.
Yeah, somebody else can come play life.
Yeah, and my brother would. He would, come in and play with them and be like, oh, do you want to go do blah, blah, blah. They were talking to each other and stuff. I never did that.
That's so funny. Yeah, I just, really never had Barbies. I don't know if it was, really by my choice or my mom's. I don't know, but...
She was trying to save you from having unrealistic body expectations.
That could be.
Now they have, short Barbie, super tall Barbie, thick Barbie.
Really?
Actually, she's called Curvy Barbie.
Oh, of course. Yes, Curvy Barbie. You gotta... That's too funny.
And Barbie comes in, lots of, ethnicities and different hair colors, and it's great because every little girl can find a Barbie that's like her.
Looks like her, yeah.
Instead of hey, we should all be uber blonde and have super long hair and blue eyes and a waist that's not physically possible.
Right. Well, and, like, I mean, Barbie is rich, man.
Oh.
She had anything she wanted.
Well, I mean, she's been, like, a doctor and a pilot and a flight attendant.
That's
Like,
true.
any job you can ever imagine, she's done it. She's been a vet. They probably didn't have Dr. Barbie back in the day either.
That's true.
Although, I mean, I think she was kind of a trendsetter. Like, she was kind of the first toy where it was like, girls, you can be something besides a housewife.
Oh.
So that she might have pushed, I mean, she definitely pushed some boundaries. I don't know. She also might have still been in the era where they're like, a woman doctor. Good one.
Have fun playing pretend, girls.
Okay, it is working out better to, like, define.
Oh, good. I like it. That's cute.
But it's definitely not, I don't have as big of a chalkboard area.
I know. I did my first circle and I was like,
It needs to be more.
I need to expand this.
Now, I will say the cute thing about this craft when I saw the prototype was they not only had just, like, written cute words or whatever on it, but they had, like, drawn on, like, cute little pennants.
Oh.
In different colors and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun idea. Like, get a little artsy. Of course, I'm not very artistic, as signified by my flopsy thing that I drew that can't even... like,
No, that was good.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do now. Because your artistic skills were impeccable.
I've never been artistic. I'm crafty. That's all I am.
I'm real good at copying other people's ideas.
But, like, if I had to draw a bird, it would be, like, the most jacked up bird you'd ever
Oh,
see.
yeah. No, I don't. I'm not a drawer. I wish my dad, like, used to, like, I wouldn't, well, I don't know, maybe if he did it, but he does, like, kind of cartoony type things.
Yeah, like caricatures.
Yeah, but they turn out so cute, and he would, like, draw for his newspaper in high school. Yeah, isn't that so cute? I'm like, that's adorable.
What a great little story.
I know, like, my dad was, like, just a little cute little guy.
He was the cartoonist.
Yeah, I mean, it's just adorable. And it's kind of, don't you wish you, like, knew your parents back then? Like,
oh, yeah.
you could, like, go back and just kind of watch them. Like, just
witness some of the things, at least.
Yeah, like, his senior picture, he wore this, I mean, it was the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Or he had this massive bow tie with polka dots.
Oh, my God. He was, like, the original hipster.
Oh, my gosh, it's the best thing in the entire world. And he's got this, like, long blonde hair, because also he's from LA, right? So he had, like, the surfer boy, like, blonde.
I didn't know he was from LA.
Yeah.
That's so funny. He just seems so, like, not city boy.
Right.
You know, that I just wouldn't have put him there.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You know, he likes to think he was one of the original skateboarders. You know,
he's
so...
hanging out with Tony Hawk.
So, yeah, I mean, he's like, you know, he talks about skateboarding in, like, pools and stuff, like, before there were skate parks. And right. I'm like, really? Like...
He was, like, one of the original, like, skateboarding's not a crime.
Right, like...
Back when skateboarding was a crime.
Yeah. Oh, and one of his favorite stories to tell, so... Well, and it's not even of his childhood. I think that's the best part. When we visited Pepperdine, with church for the lectureships, and well, my brother had a longboard. He brought it, and my dad was like, "I'm gonna ride down this hill." Right, Pepperdine has lots of hills, and there's lots of great places to skateboard. And so my dad rides this longboard down the hill, and we finally catch up to him at the bottom, and he's talking to like.
Security.
Yeah, like campus police, right? And they're like, you can't skateboard around here. And so my dad's like, oh, I'm still getting in trouble for skateboarding where I'm not supposed to be skateboarding. Like, and I'm 40-something, you know? And I'm so like, cool. Oh my gosh, you are ridiculous.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so that's one of his proudest moments.
Well, I can see a little bit more of the, like, surfer dude, skater vibe city thing.
Oh, yeah. My dad's a total bro.
My dad was very much a hair bandy kind of.
Oh, no, he was not. Oh, that is great.
His senior picture is of him in, like, it was the early 80s.
Right.
And he has on this, like, I don't know if it's like a brownish, there might be a pattern on it, some kind of maroon going on vest.
Ooh, vests are my favorite.
Like a pirate shirt. No, I don't know. It's like a creamy undershirt thing. I feel like there was some ruffles. You should see the picture of my mom and dad at prom. It is.
Oh, I would love that.
But so, and then his hair's like all, long. He's got like a short Farrah Fawcett thing going on.
Oh my gosh.
And, a real feathery nonsense. He's like leaning up against like something. There's like a mirror behind him.
Yeah.
And then he's got drumsticks in his hand.
That's so funny.
That's his senior picture. It's great.
That is hilarious.
He was a total band geek. He was in like jazz band and everything. Yeah.
That's great. Maybe we should start a band.
Oh my god.
That should be our next adventure.
Yeah. The next adventure.
I don't need another adventure.
So have you watched Fuller House at all?
We haven't watched the new season. We need to so bad. Every time we are like sitting at the TV trying to think of what to watch, I never think about it. And then when we're not at the TV, I'm like we need to watch the second season.
Okay, so you watched the first one.
Yes.
Yes. Well, so I just watched the second season like over last week or so. And
is it good?
Yeah. Do you remember on Full House back in the day when they had the little girl band group?
Oh, yeah.
Talk? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. They get the band back together.
Oh, now I have to watch.
Episodes, and I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Now I have to watch. I really, I'm so happy with Fuller House. Like,
I am too. I'm so impressed. I was really worried.
I was so afraid.
My childhood.
They're, poking fun at themselves a lot instead of, really trying to be,
oh, right.
uber serious.
Oh, yeah. Like, they make little, comments about Michelle.
Yeah.
That are like,
Yeah, because they refuse to be on it like little jerks.
Well, I totally respect, if that's not where you are in your life or whatever, but, oh my gosh, get over yourself and have a little fun.
That's the whole reason you even have, a career.
But, neither one of them act anymore.
That's true.
So maybe they just have a real bad taste for it.
That's true.
Willing to do other things or ready to do other things and don't want to get back.
Can you imagine being on set with Bob Saget? That's what cracks me up the most is that he played this so straight edged human,
totally straight laced,
yes,
clean, Mr. Perfect.
And in the background he's like, I'm so awful. He's freaking hilarious.
But yeah, he's definitely not PG.
Nope. Now, you want to know what I'm excited for, but also afraid is going to ruin my childhood? The new Beauty and the Beast.
I know. I'm excited. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's my favorite Disney movie. And then I was also like, oh, what if they destroy it?
I know. It kind of doesn't look like it. I don't know. It looks like it could be good.
And, everything can't be good. And, I don't know. I felt the same way about when they were, rebooting Star Wars stuff. I was like, are they going to slaughter this?
Yeah.
It's all been great. On the one hand, I'm like, oh, I think they're doing a good job with it. I hope they are. But then on the other hand, I'm like, every reboot can be great.
That's true.
Also, when did they stop coming up with ideas for movies and just start
remaking everything? I know.
Every single freaking movie.
Yeah.
And some of them I'm like, Spider-Man ones? I'm like, you guys just did these.
Right.
It's not even oh, this was a movie from the 50s. Or, oh, this was a movie from, it's like, no. This was, within the decade. Come on.
Right. Well, and also I wonder, too, with this new Beauty and the Beast, who are they really marketing to? Because they don't seem to really be marketing it to, kids.
Oh, no. It's totally toward the parents. They've been doing a lot of that, though. Ninja Turtles.
Right.
And there's some Ninja Turtle, cartoons and things out now, currently. I didn't watch it, but they came out with the Jim and the Holograms movie.
I don't know what that is.
That was the cartoon from when I was a kid. She was a rock star.
Oh.
And her band was made of hologram.
Wow. That was some real futuristic type stuff.
And it was like, she was just regular girl. It was very much like the Superman theme, which is like, hey, here I am. I'm just a regular old person. And nobody can tell. And then when I put this face paint around my eye, I become Jem.
Wait, so you're...
knows it's me.
So you're talking about Hannah Montana?
Like the original. The original cartoon Hannah Montana. That's right. And I have to say, I've been watching Arrow, which I know you like.
I do love Arrow. Oh my gosh.
It's the same thing. I'm like, how has not everybody in his life been like, oh, hey, Oliver. I don't care who you are. Even if I disguise my voice and I just put a little grease paint around my eyes, like, the, inflection you do, your body motions, the way your lips turn when you say certain things. Like, if anybody knew him that well, they would be like, oh, hi. Right. There's no way. And he's always, around people he's close to.
Right.
And they're like, they had no idea it was him.
Yes, I know. That's definitely the one thing, especially all of those, superhero movies. I'm like, are you freaking kidding?
At least Spider-Man, his whole face is covered.
Right.
Or Iron Man, it's like, you can't tell who it is. And, the X-Men don't try to hide their identities.
That's true. That's true.
So, there isn't any...
They are who they are.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing with Arrow is... Okay, I've always been, a Marvel fan more than DC. So, maybe this is just my bias speaking.
Okay.
But, did they run out of ideas? Now, I've heard people say that Marvel just copies everything DC already had. They have, the same characters with same powers, and they just name them something else or whatever, So I hear that argument from people who love DC. But... I'm like, the Arrow is the exact same story as Batman. He's not an orphan, but he's a pretty boy, partier, rich family. And then he decides to do dark vigilante justice.
Right, well, and his parents aren't really the coolest ever.
Well, no. I mean, his dad's dead, so he's half an orphan.
True.
Or I think his dad's dead. Maybe he's not. I haven't got that far.
I don't know. I used to watch it really heavily, and I haven't in a long time, so...
Well, I've just been binge watching it on Netflix, so... The boys were really wanting to watch it, so I started kind of watching it because they wanted to watch it.
Right.
Sometimes I just have to stop because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can only see somebody, punch and kick somebody, and little noises so many times.
That's true.
Because it's very, same thing happens every time, and it seems like it takes a lot for the storyline to carry forward, because every episode's kind of centered around, I'm gonna get this bad guy.
Yeah.
What's his deal?
Right. Well, still trying to tell some story, but
yeah, some of the characters that start playing in, Ra's al Ghul, that's from Batman. And I know that comic books, they aren't solitary things, they're all in a universe,
right,
in the DC universe, and so their stories can overlap and stuff, but I'm watching it going when's the Joker coming?
See, and I'm totally not this much of a nerd, so if you were to ask me name Marvel characters and then name DC characters, I'd be I'm
not nearly as knowledgeable about this stuff as a lot of people are out there.
I know there are people that are...
School me hardcore.
I know. Well, and when I go watch the movies and stuff, people are like, how did you like it? And I'm like, yeah, it was good. They're like, but did you tell how it was so different from the comic book? And I'm like, the fact that I've never even seen the comic book makes no... I'm sure it's a beautiful piece of art and totally means something to somebody, and I'm just not a comic book reader.
Not that somebody. Yeah. Well, and I like to just take things for what they are.
Right.
Just because the comic said this, I do like when there's tribute to, there's
right,
little recalls and things, and you're like, oh, that's like this, and it makes you, kind of nostalgic for that kind of stuff. And even, you know, like the new Ninja Turtle movies, there's little recalls to the old ones or something where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, they're paying tribute to in some aspect. But, like, each person that gets a hold of it is gonna, like,
do their own thing.
put their own stamp on it. So I try to appreciate that for, like, this is a film and this is this person's work and interpretation of, you know, versus, and then this is the book. And, like, now I get 2 stories about Batman.
Right. See, I do, though. So, as much as I'm like, it was a movie, it entertained me, I don't really care if it was like the comic book. On the other hand, Avatar, The Last Airbender.
There's movies, right?
Well, there's show. It started off as shows.
It was an anime show.
Yes.
Yeah. Remy's watched
I wouldn't even, and I'm like in love with it. It's like my favorite show. Like my favorite cartoon of all time. I've literally seen it millions of times.
Never gotten into anything anime. I don't even know
if I'd fully say it's anime.
It's anime.
Well, anyways, so they make the movie, right? Jake and I, my brother, are so excited because we love the show so much.
Live action, right? I remember it, like, vaguely.
And it was by M. Night Shyamalan, who, you know, everybody has thoughts about M. Night. Well, he's done some stuff. So we get in there, we're like so stoked. Like we even waited in line for this. Like I've never gone to a movie theater, like wait in line for this movie. And all these people are like dressed up, like everybody's super stoked, right? There's this guy that's like dressed up as Aang and he like goes to the front and is like cheering everybody on before the movie starts. It was insane.
Great.
And then the movie starts and there's like this whole intro, right? And like I could say it all to you if we needed to right now, but we don't. And he starts going and, you know, everybody's like getting stoked and then they call him Ong. Like in the cartoon, his name is Aang and they call him Ong. And then the chick's name is Katara and they call her, it's like a different pronunciation of it. And then like everybody's name is like pronounced differently. And M. Night's reasoning behind it is because they tried to go back to like
what the original pronunciation would be or something.
Right, some like Asian like origin pronunciation, right? And I'm like, how can you, it's the names of these people.
Right.
How can you change that?
So now you've just pissed off your fan base.
Right. Like at the beginning.
And I mean, most people, it's not like a lot of people are going to be like, not have any knowledge of The Last Airbender.
Right.
And then be like, I'm going to go see the movie.
Right.
Like, you have a core fan base.
Yeah.
And you just basically flipped them off.
Right. That's like a comic book with Spider-Man, and then you call him Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
it was Spidey, it's Spidey.
It was just like, the whole theater, too, was like, Ong? What is Ong? Like, everybody was just like, what? And I'm like, oh, no. And so, I mean, it was...
And that immediately sets the tone, though.
Yeah.
So even if, like, the rest of the quality of the movie was perfect, you're already pissed,
right,
and irritated, and like looking at it all jaded, like really.
So yeah, it was a little disappointing. So I get where people are coming from, where it's like, this isn't like the original.
But that's a very basic, like, who cares what the original whatever was,
right? Because yeah, I could. Like, I'm okay with him. You know, you have to change the storyline, especially from, you know, this whole season of episodes. You have to condense it. You have to make stuff make sense quickly. Right. So stuff isn't going to be the same, and I get that.
There's definitely times where, because, like, The Walking Dead, I read the comics, and I watch the show, and there's times, like, they will, like, smush 2 characters together.
Right.
Because they're trying to forward the storyline, you know, and it's like, well, we'll just have the same person do these things.
Right.
Instead of introducing another character. I totally understand that. Like, that's okay with me. But if you started calling Rick Rock, I would be like, what the fudge?
That is not his name.
Yeah. What's wrong with you people?
So, that was a frustrating night for Jake and I. And, you know, it's a midnight on, like, a Tuesday or Thursday, whatever day.
I think when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man first one came out, I think that's the only time I've ever waited in line for a movie. I was like, Spider-Man! I was so excited!
Those were pretty good.
Yeah, and actually, I like the new set of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Mans. I I thought they were good.
I don't know if I watched those.
Oh.
Who's in those ones?
I don't know, some dude.
Some dude.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, duh. Who else?
We watched those, and then Remy told me he wanted Peter Parker hair. He wanted his
Oh, that's sweet.
haircut. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
It's probably better than bleach tips, so.
Wow, insane. That's all I could think of. Oh,
It's so bad.
so bad.
There's a new show with Lance Bass on it.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, it's called My Dinner Party or
Well, Joey Fatone he does like cooking shows and stuff.
what?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
he's like out there doing things. Yeah.
Yeah, so Lance Bass is back. I was in love with him, everybody, okay? He's mine, not yours. But now he's gay, so he's none of ours. He's
He can be Adams.
which is
Adam
fine.
probably has a man crush on him.
More power to you, Lance Bass.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
I agree.
You just made a lot of girls real upset.
You know who was my, like, absolute crush that turned out to be gay, and then I was just, like, crushed over? NPH.
Oh. I still have a crush on NPH.
No, I love him. Like, even now, I'm like...
Him and his husband are
they're
so cute.
adorable, and they're twins.
They're adorable.
Oh, my God. Like...
But their Halloween costumes every year.
When I just want to be friends with him.
I know.
I'm just like, I love you so much. He's so great.
And it really makes his How I Met Your Mother character even better, I think.
Oh, I do too, because it's just like so...
Not him.
But he obviously pulled it off so well.
Yeah.
Like, you never doubt that that's how he is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely got the chops. Apparently, I was like way behind the curve on finding out he was gay. Like, everybody knew for a year, and then somebody broke it to me, and I was like, no! I don't believe you! I can't believe this! I was like freaking out. It was like a traumatic experience.
It sounds like it. That might be one of those moments where Jackson and Remy are like, you're already freaking out, Mom.
No, they were pretty little. They weren't witness to any of that. I just was in utter shock, and everyone around me was just like, yeah, like,
No.
that's not news.
That is too funny.
What are you gonna do? Be friends with them. Honestly, there are people that I, like, love and adore as humans. You know, it doesn't have to be, like, a sexual thing.
That's true.
Yeah, I love and adore him.
I love these so far, by the way. I think yours is so cute. I'm just going to talk about them again.
What is your plan with yours? You're gonna hang it on the wall?
Yeah. I think I'm going to put a little
bracket on.
You know, everybody knows what that is, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's when you put the bracket on and hang it on the wall.
Yep.
That's the sound it makes.
And I got to say something cute about,
What are the other things you're gonna hang with it? I'm gonna need some more wine.
I have this, it's like an old window. It doesn't actually have the windows in it anymore. But, so it's like a window frame.
I love those.
Me too. I get millions from my dad because, you know, he works on a bunch of houses. And
Wait, you get millions from your dad and you're not kicking them down to me?
oh, yeah, we can grab some.
Let's kick some down.
Let's do it. Yeah, the ones he has right now aren't really uber exciting, but
I was looking for one actually last Mother's Day. I had been out yard sailing and I was like trying to find one everywhere because I had this idea in my brain about what I wanted to make for my mom, which I just ended up going and buying a frame that had like 4 slots and it wasn't like window shape. It was long ways. It worked out. Turned out cute. It's
Yeah.
for coffee bags. Have you seen
oh
that hanging in their kitchen?
no. Well, probably I have, and I
She's all like in the coffee thing, and so like their kitchen has slowly evolved into being decorated with coffee theme.
oh okay.
And so their favorite place to go get coffee is Cal Java, and they
Right.
roast all their own beans and everything here in Chico. It's delicious and amazing.
I don't drink coffee, but I'm sure it's lovely.
I love coffee.
It would make my stomach
I love ginger
hurt.
coffee too. Has a special place in my heart, right next to Neil Patrick Harris.
Our hearts are full of love today. Which is unlike me normally, so
Right.
take advantage, people.
Soak it in. Yeah, so I went down to their roaster. His name is Mel. I mean, we've spent enough time at this coffee shop that, like, we know the people.
They have good bagels.
Oh, they have good everything. Those little bagel sandwiches. They buy all their
Plain bagels with
stuff
cream cheese.
from a local place, and I'm trying to think of where it is.
Did they get their bagels from Brooklyn Bridge?
I don't know, but do you remember when we saw that guy?
Oh my gosh. And Blake says, that's a Chico, like, famous person. What did he call him?
I don't know. He got, like, so excited, and he's like, he's a local celebrity.
Oh, that's what he said. A local celebrity. And he's
I'm
like, bagel dogs rule. And the guy just was like,
he turned around
put his
and
fist
like,
up or something.
Yeah, they do. Whatever his, like, quote was from the commercials, like, Blake hollers at him.
Oh
and the
my
guy
gosh.
just turns around. Granted, we're all four probably pretty toasted at this point.
It was toasty time.
And the guy just turns around and he's like, yeah, they do.
He was not stoked, like, not even, like, excited about it. Was just like,
he
yeah.
smiled, I thought. I don't know. He probably is like, God, I wish I hadn't done those commercials.
Like, why is it noon and these drunk people are staring at me and screaming at me?
He was just walking, like, 20 feet in front of us. So what was awkward was that after we got all excited about the local celebrity, and then Blake yelled at him and everything else, we just continued to follow him down the block.
That's where we were going, all right?
So it was like, usually you holler something and you get away quickly.
Nope.
We just continued following him. He was probably like, good God. Anyway, I went to Mel. I said, hey, can I get some coffee bean bags from you? Like, I would like ones that, like, have...
Is that why you have millions of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I'd like ones that have, like, interesting, like, words on them, or, like, the brand has a cool logo, you know, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he saved me probably 6 or 7 of them from roasting, and then I just, like, would go down and collect them every now and again. So then I cut, you know, logo stuff out, or, like, where, you know, some of them said, like, where they were roasted, or where they were grown.
Oh, yeah.
And I put them all in the frame, so it's in Coffee Kitchen.
That's cute.
And then it's got the coffee bean bags from her favorite coffee house where they were roasted.
That's great.
Super Chico.
I'm all for Super Chico.
Amber was telling me yesterday, my sister-in-law Amber, that her grandma knits like beanies and different stuff and sells them at the Made in Chico shop.
I love Made in Chico.
And she's like, she sells them for like such exorbitant prices. Because
everything in that store is expensive.
Yeah, because we were talking about, I was buying yarn for someone to make a hat, and I was like, you know, she offered to, like, pay me for it, but I'm like, there's, like, no amount of money I can charge that is reasonable to, like, be worth your time making it, you know? I just wouldn't feel good about that. So she's telling me how her grandma sells them, and she's like, everything is so expensive in there.
It's really a lot of money.
And I was like, oh, I need to make some stuff and sell them Made in Chico. Well, we could make coffee bean signs and sell them in Made in Chico.
That's true.
We made them in Chico, and the beans are roasted in Chico, etc.
Can I tell you about the beer opener that I made for Blake?
No.
Okay, so it's like a piece of wood, but it's like a square. I bought it at Michael's. So nobody cut it for me. That's how lazy I was. And I bought a massive magnet at Home Depot. And my dad has this cool little tool that can like cut into wood without going like through it. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. So we made like a circle.
Router?
I don't know. It like spins. Well, no, we made like a circle.
Oh, that's a router. And someone will be like, that's not a freaking router.
And so we made enough room to put the magnet in so that the magnet could like sink in and be close,
Nice.
to the front. And then, so the bottle opener is just on the top and you open it and then your bottle cap falls and just it sticks there. Doesn't look like it should because you can't see the magnet, but it does. It's so cool.
Wait, what?
Yeah, maybe I
How
have
did you make the top of the bottle opener?
Oh, it's just it's a Sierra Nevada bottle opener. I just attached it to the lid.
Oh, that's so fancy.
It's so cute.
Have you seen Adam's bottle opener that I got him? Oh my gosh, this is adorable.
It's cute, huh?
That's so great, and they just stick.
Yeah.
That's so cool, because it's like they just stick.
Yeah, it's magic.
Has he really opened that many beers?
No, I was just trying it there, but at our New Year's party, it got used quite a bit.
It looks great.
So see, we could make a whole lots of things and sell them.
Made in Chico. I'll have to rename our podcast to Made in Chico. And also Drunk in Chico.
Ain't that the truth?
Put that on there too. Oh, Adam's bottle opener. I
Yeah.
got him a bottle opener, you know, Nick Offerman.
Oh, I have seen it.
Yeah, from his wood shop. And
That is awesome.
It's like the most simple thing you can have. It's just like a hunk of wood, and there's just like, yeah, same thing, like a hole routed out and a nail through it. And it works great. And it has
so
like,
cute.
A little seal like burned in. He was like so unbelievably excited, especially because it came with a little card that like said Nick Offerman. I don't think it's a real signature, but I think he was just as excited. He still has the card sitting out. He's like,
I love that.
this is the best. You can also buy like $5,000 canoes on his website, but
I don't think Adam would really get a whole lot of use out of that. I don't see him canoeing.
I don't even know where you would canoe nearby. Everything's like rapid water.
In a wood canoe, too? Yeah, man, there's rocks.
Yeah, no, you'd have to have like a great still pond. Plus, he's 6'5". I don't feel like the average canoe is gonna be.
Nick Offerman's a big dude, too.
He's not that tall, I don't think.
Oh, is he not? I just always assumed he would be. I don't know. He seems like such a daunting
man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking of him standing next to Leslie Knope, and I feel like he's not that tall. She's super short. Adam's been rewatching Parks and Rec since we had
Trivia night.
Trivia. Yes.
I mean, I've probably seen a little bit of like the first season, like maybe some random episodes here and there.
It's really funny.
I don't get super into it.
I mean, I watched the whole series all the way through, but I haven't like really rewatched any of it since then. He had one on the other night, and I like not intentionally like sitting down watching it because I just like kind of got engrossed, and I was like, yeah, this is really funny. It was a little. I mean, it's got that same style as The
Office, and I love The Office. That's why I figured I'd like it, and I love Amy Poehler. So maybe I should try again.
Maybe.
One of my roommate's boyfriends, he had an internship when I was in college at NBC.
Oh, really?
And he brought home one day, like, it was when Parks and Rec, when she was running for office or whatever. So he brought home all these cookies that said, "Nope, we can." Because they, like, gave them out at, like, it, you know, they were trying to get it, like, re-upped for the next season or whatever. So they had those, like, little promotional giveaways to, like, all the people that worked were, like, there for the whatever. And so, yeah, he brought home a bunch of Nope, we can cookies. They were awesome.
That's cool. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think he still works at NBC. Actually.
Oh,
so
cool.
They have a very cute daughter named Georgia. Isn't that adorable? I think it may be Georgina, but I think they call her Georgia.
Cute.
Sweet. She's so cute. Yeah, and she's all sorts of mixed. Tucker is half black, half white, and Lily's Mexican. So she's got just all these really great features of all sorts of different people. She's adorable.
Oh, that's great.
She's so cute.
She's the ultimate goal, which is just being so many things that nobody can classify you.
Yep.
That's what I think the world is heading towards.
So I work at a foster family agency. We had to take these trainings. One of them is an LGBTQ training. The whole thing was just about labels because, you know, LGBTQ covers massive amount of people, right?
Yeah.
So it was all like what they prefer to be called, and when it asks for, you know, your gender, there's like this massive list of genders, right? Because that's what we were learning about. You could be, so I click female, okay? Go down and ask for my ethnicity. There's, you know, tons of options.
Right.
American is not one of them.
Oh no.
So I'm like,
Not. Like Native American. Is...
that wasn't even one of them either, but
what?
I know. So I'm fine. Like, I get that maybe Native Americans wouldn't want me to claim this country as my own because it's their own.
But no, I'm the same way. Like, this is where I was born. This is what I identify with. I identify with being American, not being like of a European descent. Like, so who cares?
And I'm so little of everything. Like, I think I'm mostly Norwegian, and I might be like a 16th or something. We're an 8th Norwegian, or maybe. And so I'm like, I can't even say I'm Norwegian. I'm like, hardly any of me is Norwegian. How can I tell you like where I'm from?
Choose the other, or
I wrote a box and said American.
Nice. I often just put choose not to answer.
Yeah, I don't think that was an option.
Because I'm always just like, who cares? I realize that some people do care, and like they identify strongly with what like their heritage is. And that's great.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right. And I'm all for that. Like, my best friend all through high school, she's Syrian, and they are, like, so all about their culture. Totally cool, right? Love it. I loved being a part of it. Super great. But she's also 100% Syrian.
Right. And there's a strong family tie. Like, they are teaching her all of their culture and values and, you know, all that stuff because that is what they know.
Right.
And she's, I'm sure, adapting some of being quote-unquote an American into that as her life, you know? But I'm like, there is nothing that I identify with that strongly.
But
I'm also partly Norwegian. Actually, my biggest chunk.
Well, my dad, the Norwegian comes from my dad. Can you tell he's got the blondest hair of, like...
Yeah.
And blue eyes. And very light skin. Actually, in the summer, my dad tans like nobody's business. I don't.
I can tan a bit, but not much.
Not I. When I was a kid, I used to get tan. I don't know, like 18 hit or something. I could be out in the sun all the time. There's not an ounce of color that's gonna stay.
But I've seen you get sunburn.
Oh, I get sunburn.
But do you put sunscreen on?
As I get older.
I got about 12 years old, I got like super obsessed with skin cancer and wearing sunscreen.
I got obsessed with skin cancer.
And I was like, oh my god, it's so preventable. And so I just got real into wearing sunscreen. So
that's smart.
I always wear sunscreen. Even in the winter, I put like sunscreen on my face. Like, I have facial cream has sunscreen in it because the rest of my body's covered. I'm like really into that. But even through sunscreen, I tan. Like, just a bit. I mean, I'm not like, me being tan is like, we always joke because my friend Sonia is Mexican, and like, when I'm at like my tannest and she's at her whitest, we're like almost the same color.
I also, like, I don't get out in the sun nearly as much as I'd like to.
Oh gosh, no, because we're like grown ups and we have to work.
Right, yeah, I work 8 to 5 when it's sunny.
Remember when you could just go lay in the sun for a whole day?
Yeah.
Yeah, those days were long gone.
See, also, that's my other thing.
You can't lay there.
No.
No, the only way I can lay in the sun for a whole day is if I'm like at the beach or something. Because you can get up and go swimming.
Right.
And I'd lay back down and read.
Bring a picnic.
And then I'd have a picnic. And then I'd, take a little nap. And then, like, if I was going to be out at the beach the whole day, like, I was always doing something. I can't just sit there.
Well, also up there, it doesn't get blazingly hot. Like, it gets warm.
Hot.
Right.
It's higher in elevation, so it doesn't get as hot, period. But it's also drier heat than
yeah,
here.
that's true. But
so you can, like, stomach it more.
Like in Chico, you, like, lay down to, like, tan. And within seconds, you are, like, sweating, just, like, laying there. And I'm like,
I'm going to turn into beef jerky.
Right, this is not pleasurable at all.
Human jerky.
Human jerky.
About to be a salty snack for Jeffrey Dahmer.
Is he?
I'm curious.
Is he in jail or dead, or what's Jeffrey Dahmer's life like these days?
I'm pretty sure that Jeffrey Dahmer got assaulted, murdered, and then, from what I recall, like, dismembered into pieces, and they tried to shove him down the toilet in prison.
Oh, I didn't know that story. That's great. So people didn't take kindly to him in prison, I take it.
I guess being a cannibal is not high on the list. I mean, even in prison, there are boundaries.
Well, they don't like...
Oh, you don't like, be a child molester.
No.
Or even a rapist.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a mama. Like, everybody's got a mom.
100%.
Or whatever.
They got somebody in their life.
Like, mom, sister, grandma. There's some woman that raised them and took care of them, and they respect. And they're like, oh, you're a rapist? We'll take care of you.
Or, you like little boys? I got a son at home.
Mm-hmm.
Forget you, dog.
Yeah, which I am not going to condone, but I'm also not going to be too upset about. That's probably terrible to say, but I'm...
Not going to be too upset about what?
About them taking care of the child molester.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking about, like, child molesting. I'm like,
oh god,
what are you
very clear.
What are you saying here, Dab? What are listeners getting into?
Vigilante violence by prisoners. But I'm also not losing any... I'm not having...
You're not going to go advocate for prison safety for the child molesters.
I'm not losing any sleep over Jeffrey Dahmer's death. I'm not losing any sleep over a child molester getting taken care of in prison.
Did you see that sad video of those kids that took that special needs boy and
Oh, no.
tied him up on Facebook Live?
No.
I didn't watch it because I can't.
I
I can't, but Blake told me about it. Yeah,
What is wrong with humans?
I don't even remember what it was. It was for Trump or something, saying now that Trump's president, this is what's going to happen or something, right? Stupid kids.
Oh, so they're trying to, counterpoint
Right.
by saying, he's a terrible person. No, you're a terrible
Yeah,
person.
you're a terrible person. They go on Facebook Live and take this poor little special needs guy, he's in high school or something, right? And they, tied him up and, were beating him up and stuff.
Awful.
Kills me inside. Oh!
What is wrong with people?
I don't know.
I
Just don't know. This conversation is taking a turn.
Things have gotten dark.
We seem to get dark real fast, like that. The podcast I've been editing with the split peas, and how I said I think children are splitting the peas in a child factory somewhere.
The great thing is I don't even remember what we say. So then later when I'm editing stuff, I'm oh, we said some stuff. Yes, this did get a little bit dark. Yeah, bottom line, what happens in prison stays in prison. Okay, my glass is not quite empty. I don't think I drank nearly enough wine tonight. I earlier said I was going to use that wine glass that holds an entire bottle. It's good to be back in podcasting, though.
Whoop whoop! I know.
I was pretty ill.
You were.
Nobody wants to listen to me coughing and hacking. And
So, guys!
Sound like I have emphysema. I smoke a pack and a half a day. Actually, that's probably not that much for a smoker. I smoke 3 packs a day.
That's great.
That's what my biological mother sounded like. That's another story. We won't get, that'll get real dark. Let's not do that one. Oh my god.
We gotta find some happy shit to talk about.
When all the people were over here, all my family was over for dinner. My dad goes, Tab, how's your mom? To my sister-in-law, Tab. And I turned around and went, dead? And Kyle just looked at me and was just like, oh my god, what's wrong with you? But when you're in a group of people and someone says your name, I just assume he's talking to me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, there's another Tab here. But my instinct was, I just turned around and I was like, dead?
You know this.
I'm a real sick sense.
Oh, Tab.
I do this to people all the time. I'll tell your mom jokes to people, and then when they say it back, I go, that's not funny, my mom's dead. And I just deadpan, straight face them, and then they're just like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's evil.
That is evil.
But it's hilarious.
That is so evil.
Alright, I'm gonna finish this wine.
Yeah!
So now my glass is empty.
Drink up! Is that what I'm supposed to say?
This is the best part of the show. When we can't get our shit together.
Is that not what I'm supposed to say? I thought it was.
Yeah, no, you can. You can say, I can say, our glass is empty. You can say mine is too. It doesn't have to be scripted. I'm starting to feel the wine. I'm going to have some more.
Well, first, drink up.
You have crap to do.
Bye, Felicia.